I used to hate Christmas. Like I was literally Grinch. I got this gut-wrenching feeling every single year before the holidays. Like I'm going to freaking gain 20 pounds. I'm going to binge every single night. Here we go. And it was truly like a sickening feeling I would get. And I associated the holidays with that feeling of just being off track, feeling like shit, like all of this different stuff and having it in the back of my head. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Today we are talking about a topic that we've probably talked about 1 million times. So we're freeballing it a little bit, and it's how to stay on track during the holidays, which sometimes, and Lacey and I were talking about this because we just did an open office hours for our clients for staying on track during the holidays. And we're like, do people just kind of get it now? But then I talk to people and I'm like, okay, no, people still don't get it. And so that's why we're putting this out there, because there are a lot of things that you can do to make the holidays much easier, not cause any stress for yourself, and come out of them feeling good and fulfilled and not stressed and mad at yourself. So that's what we're going to go over. But today we are getting tagged in people's Spotify Wrapped
Yay.
posts, which is so cool. So
exciting.
everyone, thank you if you did post. And if we are on your Spotify Wrapped, thank you for listening throughout the year. We're coming up to 1 year of recording this podcast,
Crazy.
which is crazy how quick it's gone by.
So
I
great.
know, we remember the first day we recorded.
We were in Edmonton doing our like photo shoot this weekend, right? Because it was right before your
Right
birthday or
before my
something.
birthday, yeah. Oh my gosh. Have we ever
That's
told
so
that story
cute.
on here?
I don't
What
think
story? How we didn't have a photographer and we went all the way to
Oh,
Edmonton?
yeah. That was Yeah, pretty much we rented this space, hired a photographer, rented an Airbnb. Me and Jensen flew to Edmonton. Kira drove
We
in the middle of
bought out
winter.
matching outfits.
We bought
Yeah.
4 matching outfits, spent hundreds of dollars, and we're, like, getting fully dressed, fully ready, hair, makeup, we're all so excited. It's, like, the second day we're all together to go to our photo shoot. We're just about to leave the Airbnb, and the photographer messages me on Instagram and is like, "Hey, I just got in a car accident, I'm gonna have to cancel." Or I can't
And
even
we were
remember
like,
what she
yeah,
said, but
that's what
she
it was.
canceled. And I had a meltdown, and Kira kept us all in good spirits, and everything, of course, worked out exactly perfectly because the plan was, well, like, we still have the studio, so we might as well just go there and we'll just shoot ourselves with a freaking iPhone.
Yeah, and we'd been getting a lot of content all weekend. Like I still use some of the content from that weekend for like posts and stuff. So we were kind of like in the groove. We're like, well, whatever, we'll just go to the fucking studio, I guess. And I'm like, no,
Oh
there's
my
gonna be a
god.
photographer at the studio. This is me and my birth week, you guys. This is what happens when December rolls around. I'm just like, the universe is mine. Like I can have whatever I want. I'm like, there's gonna be a photographer there. It's a studio. Like she's gonna shoot us. And you guys, I remember Lacey's just like, no, I have
I
given
was
up.
I actually
so
remember being like,
fucking mad.
why are we trying to be optimistic about something that truly isn't gonna happen? Like, we're not
I
just gonna
was
show up and there's gonna be a
so
random photographer standing outside.
just waiting. But there's a
But there
photographer
was.
that owned the studio that had a shoot right before us in there, and we pretty much just begged and pleaded, and she did it, and she did an amazing job, and we had a successful launch after all. But yeah, I remember I was just so frustrated at that point. But as soon as Kira was optimistic, I'm like, sick. I don't have to be. I'm
I'm
Debbie
gonna be
Downing
pissed.
it right now.
Oh, that's kind of nice. I like that I was able to do that for you because I feel like it's always you.
Well, and that's my personality, which I'm fine with. But sometimes I'm like, after that, just so much planning and money
Yeah.
went into
Yeah.
that I was really feeling frustrated.
And for you guys who have flown, it's like different. For me, it was like I got a babysitter. I'm getting out of the house. Like I was like, fuck yeah, this is just like a fun weekend. I don't really care what happens. And you guys are like flying out.
Well, and I
Honestly, it
think I
didn't really
just
bother
wanted
me. I was just like, this is so stupid. Like, why are we even going there to get stupid iPhone pictures in a stupid studio? Like, why are we wasting our time driving there? Like, this is stupid.
Oh
But
god.
that's why I keep the Iskra sisters around because they're very positive and optimistic.
And we had a killer launch. We made it into top 10, I think, right? In the first week.
I
We
don't
had some
remember.
cool
On
milestone.
something.
I can't remember what it was, but
Anywho, thank you guys for sticking around.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about, are we just going to get into it
Staying on
today?
track.
Yeah, I think I actually had a thought this morning that I wanted to just talk about and share because I think too when we come into the holidays, we
kind of freeball it a little bit and to like actually step back and like set your intention first. Like, okay, what does it mean for you to stay on track during the holidays this year? Cause like it's going to be so different all the time. And maybe it's sticking to everything 100%, and maybe it's like just doing one or two things. But I think just taking the time to sit with yourself for like 5 minutes and see where you're at, what your capacity is, what's your schedule looking like. Like, do you even have the time to stay on track for the holidays? And like, how can you maybe dial it back? But just like taking a moment to sit with yourself and be like, oh, I'm actually feeling really good. I want to continue this, or this is how I want to go into the new year feeling, or this Christmas, I want to be more about connection. Like, what do you want your like word to be, your intention to be for the holidays? And then it'll make it so much easier to navigate them because you're like, oh, I'm going for connection. Oh, I'm going for good sleep. Like, that's my main goal. So I just wanted to kind of start by saying that I think it's a nice place to start.
Yeah, just setting an intention and thinking about, okay, what do you want to get out of this? And I remember when we did the staying on track during the holidays after Mexico and like getting back on track after, that was a big piece that we said too. And it is so important. Like, okay, what am I trying to get out of this? And I think with that can also come what we've talked about before is just those floor and ceiling habits that we talk about so much. And I think
Yeah.
it's crazy how much those help people and even myself. Kira, you're the one that kinda, like, introduced that, like, way of thinking to me, and I, like,
Mhm.
give it to my clients, and it helps them so much. Like, what is baseline that I need to get done, and what is what I can do when I have more time, and actually taking the time to write out those things as well. Like, what is my baseline? And you're probably gonna overshoot it a little bit, and you're gonna say, "I'm gonna do all these things," but you can always come back and adjust as you go along.
Yeah. And I think with setting those floor and ceiling, like, more so than seeing what you can get done or what is your, like, best floor and your best ceiling, you wanna make it easy so that you can hit it. So it's
Mhm.
like your floor shouldn't be more than 2 to 3 basic things that in the last month, you pretty much hit every single day without even thinking
Yeah.
about it, right? It's not like this is some match against some version of you or someone else or anything like that. It's like the best way to keep that momentum going through this month is letting yourself have those easy wins. So, I think that that is important.
Yeah, like, literally make it like brushing my teeth. That's my floor, because you know you're gonna do it every single day, and it's like, but my ceiling is, like, more than that.
Yeah, and maybe you have levels to it as well, but maybe we can talk about and I think it'll be good to just talk about what are some super easy to implement things throughout the holidays, and then we'll go more into, like, Christmas dinners and being with your family and all of that stuff, but I'll start with mine is I think just throughout the holidays getting some and I always do this and you guys are gonna have different ones, but is that movement piece. So, like, really incorporating that movement into your routine, but also your families. And that doesn't mean like going to the gym. It doesn't mean even going for structured walks, but maybe it means like you and your kids get outside and you're playing in the snow more often when you have the time rather than sitting inside all day long and just trying to incorporate that movement piece and that fresh air and getting outside in the sunlight in different ways that don't feel like a chore and a pattern. Going sledding, whatever that might be. Obviously, we have some people that listen that aren't in snowy climates, so it's different for everyone, but I think that for me is, like, always a really good piece and, like, going for the walk after your dinner and, like, making that a tradition and, like, bringing that into I think that's something that's so cool to me when families have those traditions even after, like in the US, it's much more popular, but, like, the turkey trot and the 5K run or the 10K run they do after Thanksgiving, I think that's a really cool thing even if you just add it into your family, like, you go for a walk after Christmas dinner, you go for a walk Christmas morning, whatever that might look like.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's easier to, like, set a word or, like, that connection piece that I said, and then it's like, okay, if all the kids are, like, playing hockey in the basement, if my word is connection, I'm like, "This is a great chance for me to connect with, like, my nieces and nephews," and also I'm gonna be moving my body, and, like, instead of it's honestly to, like, pull yourself away from your phone is the main thing we need to do because like, the holidays are a time when you can really hunker down and do some serious doom scrolling. So it's like, I
Yeah.
need to be like, "Okay, I'm connecting." If everyone's staying up and watching a movie, yes, my floor nighttime routine is to, like, wear my blue light blockers and go to bed at a decent time, but I'm yearning for connection this holiday season, so I'm gonna stay up and watch the movie. It, like, makes it
Yeah, I love
easier
that.
to make the decisions, and, like, for me, it's not gonna be a lot about, like, eating a bunch of junk food because 'cause that's not what I'm looking for, but maybe it's baking cookies with my daughter and, like, having one, or, like, making salsa with someone and talking about their recipe. It, like, makes it I just need it to be easy to choose what to do because, like we said, with that floor and ceiling, there's so many options in between there. We always talk about that if we're, like, going to the lake for a weekend or going on a trip. It's like, what's your big intention? Is it, like, rest? Maybe it is rest for you and you need to sit around, chill out for the holidays, and, like, you'll say yes to, like, an extra cup of tea, and you'll have a nap in the afternoon. If that's what your body really needs and you've intuitively connected to that piece of yourself, you're gonna prioritize that. So, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'll be up to.
And I think too, it kind of depends where you're at in your journey because even the three of us, right? It's like, even without us even setting that floor in the ceiling, it's we're gonna probably, drink enough water or even like start our day with our nettle tea. So there's also certain levels. So how I attack it is I almost like think about last holiday season and what kind of got me in a little bit of a shame loop or what I ended up doing that I didn't really like what I was doing. And even though I have, oh, these solid habits done and I do them wherever, I still kind of let myself down in other areas and not being hard on myself necessarily, but just being like, okay, that's something that I want to like focus on this time and kind of just like always aiming to get a little bit better. And it's not saying that means like more restrictive or whatever, but there's certain intentions that you do have going into it where it's like, well, I let it slide, or maybe I had more drinks than I thought I was going to, or whatever. So that's kind of how I've always done it is like you really just have to take it step by step and continue building those habits upon each other when the rest are easy in a sense. And
Yeah.
so I think I don't know if maybe having the intention word is better for people more
Right.
along in that, where having like the floor and the ceiling is more important for like, okay, you're going to eat 3 meals a day and drink water.
Yeah.
And that's your ceiling or that's your floor. And your ceiling is every meal is perfectly balanced and you're taking your minerals with your water and just different perspectives.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
totally.
what is wrong or what is right, but just even for you guys listening, because I think sometimes it's hard for us in this position. Yes, we're coaches and we work with people, but we also forget what it's like to
Totally.
have this first holiday season. It's even what me and Jensen were talking about. We're like, do people even I'm like, just relax. It's the holidays. Like, it's not a big deal. Don't get in your head. Like, but people are in their head and they
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
think about it and it does keep them up at night. And so, one of my intentions or goals that I'm going to try to stick to is having a cutoff period for eating late at night
Mm,
because I always get into the treats, into the dessert late at night. And that's just been like a not lifelong thing, but I used to back in my binge eating days, I would always binge late at night. And then through my bodybuilding days, I'd always save my calories for late at night. And so I just find myself when I'm in these environments that aren't our home, that have a whole bunch of Christmas baking and there's candies in the cupboard and there's little kid food around, like just staying at our in laws or whatever, that come 9, 10 o'clock, I'm just giving my blood sugar a nice little punch every
I
single
know.
time. So,
yeah, some peppermint bark. Ooh, like
yeah,
a
I'm like and it's
sugar
late at night,
cookie?
and I'm, like, gonna give myself more free range because I
During
think
the
I
day.
usually try to be more like, "Okay, you can have 1 cookie after and I try to make rules around that, but now I'm more so being like, "Okay, come 8 o'clock, you're cut off." Not that I'm gonna, like, go busy and have the intention of, like, binging prior to 8 o'clock, but I just think if I can do that, I know I'm gonna feel proud, and those are always the decisions when I do tend to eat a little too many treats right before I go to bed. At this point, I've eaten clean for so long, I physically feel hungover, I feel like
Sick.
shit, my heart rate is so high during the night,
Yeah.
and I just know my body does not want that, and so I was thinking last night, I'm like, "I think that's gonna be, like, my main goal
Goal.
going into it is, like, try to cut yourself off, Lacey." So
Well, and I think with that goal, because I think so many people are the exact same, is like part of it is just letting yourself have and it's so simple, like, we'll just have it during the day because we honestly, it's not even that I'm restricting during the day, it's more that, like, I'm not thinking about it, and then nighttime comes, and I'm like, "Oh, I forgot we have all these treats
Yeah.
laying around,"
Yeah.
What's he
like,
gonna
whereas
do?
if I just have it during the day, I'm like, "Okay, I'm good," like, I don't need to and I have it after my lunch, so it's not fucking with my blood sugar
No.
and my sleep and everything else.
But I think it's yeah, you're just more distracted during the day, there's more going on. Haven't smoked any weed yet. Just kidding. So, but
Literally.
I think that's what it is, and I remember I used to talk about this with my therapist a lot because it was always at in that those evening hours is just, like, where all of my bad habits and I'm like, I think it's, like honestly, we were linked it back to childhood trauma and everything like that, but it's a lot of time where people crave connection, and it's also when you're, like, slowing down for the first time, so you
Mhm.
have a lot of thoughts going on in your head and everything like that, and so it just makes it easier to, like, numb or reach for the dopamine-filled cookie or whatever, so
Yeah,
that's gonna be a
exactly.
challenge for me, but I'm gonna try to, especially now that I've said it out loud on the podcast, stick
That's a
to
good
it, but
one.
I think
I
mine sorry, I know I just, like, went off on an intention rant, but mine is
No, no.
really gonna be, like, my sleep and my circadian rhythm. I've been really, really focused on it since I had Jake, and I think it's making such a difference, and I'm, like, kind of in this, like I'm obsessed with circadian rhythm right now, if you can't tell by my content that I've been posting, but I just wanna have, like, morning sunlight, midday sun, and sunrise, and that doesn't mean I go to bed like, I'm probably not gonna have a set bedtime, and I'm probably not gonna be, like, tucked in early every night, but circadian health and, like, light environment is gonna be a big, I think, focus for me, just
yeah,
yeah. So it
I know,
feels
I'm
I
also
listened to a
kind of
podcast
obsessed.
about it, and I'm like, "Everyone needs to be doing this, like,
I know.
what are we doing? It's actually crazy." Which is just a
I
topic for
got
another time,
I
but
got Brett and
what were you gonna say?
Ellie blue light blocker glasses for Christmas.
Aw, I know I need to get Matt some, especially with him studying so late. I'm just like,
Yeah.
"You're on your computer at 11 right now? Okay,
Well,
nice."
the worst me and Zach are both addicted to this game right now on our phones that you can't tell the different colored blocks when you have your glasses
Oh,
on.
no.
So
No.
it's so annoying. So I'll be like so good, and then I'll just see Zach like playing his game, and I'm like put mine up, and I'm like we're both playing on the couch, and then he's in bed. I like will cut myself off when I go to bed, but the last like don't have any blue light, and then like 20 minutes before I go to bed on the couch, I'm like playing this block game. I'm like I need to find another game, but
You
it's
can tell. Yeah, my intention also sorry, the dog's walking around, but my intention is honestly I spend around Christmas at Matt's family's house, and then I usually go to Saskatchewan either before or after to see my parents. And I just find my thing is like with breakfasts and lunches, like I'm not having regular meals. And because I'm in someone else's house and like my parents don't live in like a pot, like it's not just like easy for me to run to the grocery store. I have to do a full freaking 45-minute trip to get to the grocery store. And so then I just don't do it and I eat what they have. And same thing with Matt's family. I don't want to be like rummaging through their fridge and cupboards, making myself breakfast when everyone's just like drinking, having a coffee. But
Everyone's still
this
sleeping.
year, yeah, like making so much noise. But this year, I'm like, okay, I just need to do that because it's actually insane. If I don't
Yeah.
have my breakfast and a normal lunch, my mood is impacted. I'm so bloated. I feel uncomfortable. I'm overstimulated. I'm like, that's when I'm snacking at night. So if I can just
Yeah.
have those 3 meals a day, like I'm fine. So that's mine.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's such a good one. And again, like what Lacey said in the beginning, that's something that comes very easy and very natural to all three of us and that we know we're going to do. So it's like you just have to have that little intentional piece and almost like give yourself permission during the holidays to like do better for yourself. Like just because it's the holidays doesn't mean you have to like do what everybody else is doing and eat like shit. Like make some hard boiled eggs the first night you get there and have two hard boiled eggs and a yogurt when you wake up in the morning.
Hmm.
Like boom, great job.
Yeah.
Exactly. It doesn't need to be big and daunting.
Yeah, like, you don't have to, like, fry up a whole sausage and egg or, like
Make a breakfast bowl while everyone's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like,
"Oh, this is
"Can
my
I have some?"
balsamic glaze." It's like, "Oh, I only brought enough turkey bacon for myself."
Literally me.
I know, same.
No, that's literally me too, but Zach's parents are great now, they, like, load the fridge up with all my food, but
That's so nice. Do you think we should just talk about, like, how to approach actual dinners, family dynamics, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that that's important because it's definitely something that people struggle with, especially if you're like, not even especially if you're newer on this freaking healing journey, because I still get it, mainly from my dad and a little bit from my little sister, Marina, if you're listening.
Have an
No,
eggnog, Lacey, come on.
yeah, just come on. Just what's not gonna kill ya? And I'm just like, you guys, I'm like 15 years into this fucking journey at this point. Like, are more worried than me. But I remember we were at the fishing lodge and my dad was just like, you're not gonna have any pasta. Like, that's all they're serving. There's gluten and just going on. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, dad. I'm fine. Like, you're more worried about it than me, which is totally how it is. So it doesn't matter when you're at this journey, you probably, regardless if you're at the start or the end, but at the start, it definitely hits a little harder and you take it a little bit more personal and it's harder to deal with. But you really just have to understand that they are projecting onto you because it is uncomfortable for people to see you making positive changes because no one wants to be overweight, no one wants to be inflamed, no one wants to be bloated, no one wants to feel like shit.
And
But
even, like, no one wants to, like, not know what to eat. Like, it's
yeah,
just
Yeah.
that simple, like, most people just don't know. They're like, "I don't know,
yeah.
I'm just, like, not eating butter because I thought it's bad."
Mhm. I
And that
switched to
thought,
basil.
Yeah.
yeah, of just changing is scary for a lot of people, right? I mean, you all know how scary it was when you made your first choice or invested in your first coach or really committed to changing your lifestyle. And so it's uncomfortable because you're growing, you're out of your comfort zone. And that's where your body, your nervous system, everything wants you to stay. And so when people see you changing, one, they do project out on their insecurity because they wish that they were doing what you were doing and it's just becoming more apparent and so it makes them feel better if they kind of make you feel bad and drag you down or it's almost like they want to test you, right? It's like, well, how dedicated are you? Like, if
Mhm.
I really put it in your face, you're going to take it, right? Because they know that they would. And it's kind of messed up to think about because it's like, do I, like with my parents or your
Yeah.
sibling, it's like, do you really think that that's their intention? But it's just, they're so unaware of it that they
Mhm.
don't know. And the second part of that is other than projection, it's also they're scared they're gonna lose you and you're
Mhm.
gonna like,
Mhm.
and it's a little bit different with family, obviously, but like you're gonna outgrow them and you're not gonna want to talk to them and you're not gonna give them the same time of day. And so there's also a part of that. But yeah, it's a never ending journey, but I think you just like learn to deal with it. And the best thing you can do is just like setting examples and stay strong in your
Yeah.
boundaries.
I think another thing too is sometimes we're creating this narrative in our head. Like sometimes people are just outright projecting, but something that I've definitely been throughout my health journey and when I started going to the gym and stuff is I create this narrative in my head that everyone thinks I'm weird and everyone is judging me because I'm not doing these certain things. And maybe it is true, maybe my intuition is correct, but also no one's ever said or done anything to actually make me know that, you know what I mean? And so I think sometimes we're a little insecure because we're changing and we're growing and we don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable, so we create these narratives in our head like everyone's judging me, like no one is supporting me, but a lot of the times they are, or they just don't care because a lot of people don't have time to care about other people in their life, right? And so
Yeah.
I had a client, and I just thought this was a good story to share. She recently went gluten free for certain reasons, and she's doing like a friend's Christmas this weekend. And she was like, yeah, I'm gonna like bring my own dish. I'm a little bit nervous about what that's gonna be like, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, why don't you just send in the group chat being like, hey guys, if there's anything that is really easy for you to not make to have gluten, whether it's just like if you can avoid putting flour in it, do you mind doing that?
Yeah.
And she was like, "Yeah, I mean, I guess I can do that." And most people aren't gonna be offended by that, especially if it's because you wanna feel better and you're trying to take care of your health, right?
And that's something that I've, like, noticed too is, like, vulnerability can be very disarming to, like, your family members. So if you're just like, "Hey, actually, like, I've been having, like, really painful periods for 6 years, and I'm working with a coach now, and they recommend that I cut out gluten because I got a really expensive gut test that told me that I'm struggling with gluten. So, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring my own dish and, like, there's no hard feelings, but I'm not gonna be eating it, and if anyone has any good ideas, let me know, and people will often, like, sidebar text you like, "Oh my god, I didn't know you were going through that," and it just, like, opens up a different, like, way to talk about it because even I'm thinking about our episode that we did on self-sabotage, like, for me with gluten, it was like I was so afraid to speak up and say that, like, I get really depressed and, like, all my joints hurt when I personally eat gluten, but I'm too scared to tell anyone because of my own childhood trauma and my bullshit, and then kinda like a mixture of what Lacey and Jensen said, it's like we're projecting onto them, they're projecting onto us, and it's just like, if you can break through it with this, like, I don't know, for me personally, I
Vulnerability.
find vulnerability so disarming, and it kinda breaks through that, like, that projection, I think, if that kinda makes sense. So that's often a really good way, and it's like, it's the holidays, we're supposed to be, like, crying around our family members, so you
Yeah.
might as
So
well.
I'm like, all I hear is dad saying, "Well, I eat gluten and I'm fine."
Yeah,
Like, I'm like, "Dad,
exactly.
none of that you would not fucking care about the vulnerability." But I think more so with friends, that
Yeah,
works. I think family dynamics is everyone is so
weird, yeah.
different that you just don't know what you're gonna get. But
Well, and if people don't like it, they get so freaked out by you, like, sharing something so personal that they will not bring it up again, so it's like
oh,
a
I'm
win-win.
all about addressing the elephant in
Yeah.
the room before people can address it.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh,
it's the
exactly.
best. But yeah, definitely just lots of stories that you create and people
Yeah.
create. And I mean, without saying awareness is key.
Yeah, awareness is key.
Awareness is key.
But there is one thing because I know we're supposed to, like, be giving tips, and I feel like we always end up just going on, like, tangents, but to, like, know what do we have a podcast episode on, like, a balanced meal? Or we did, like, a macros, right? Did
We
we,
did
both of us?
nutrition basics.
Yeah, so
Yep.
just, like, knowing that and, like, starting your plate with that, just, like, you don't even have to say anything to anyone about what you're eating or not eating, you can just go make a plate with some protein, some carbs, and some fat on it. And I always say too, like, be the one that offers to bring a salad or, like, don't offer and just bring a veggie tray, and then you're, like, getting some fiber and some vegetables, and then, like, you're gonna there's probably gonna be a protein there. There's definitely gonna be some carbs and some fat there, and then you've, like, brought a veggie. So that can just take all the pressure off. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to tell anyone anything. Just eat a bunch of protein and then, like, you can kinda, like, have a
Yeah.
little treat or, like, one piece of pie after and, like, nothing's really
Or
different.
maybe,
It's just more
yeah,
mindful.
just getting like making it exciting too, so it doesn't feel like, "Oh, I'm just gonna eat my veggie tray." If that's what you wanna do, that's fine, and if you're fine with that, but I know some people just, like, love food, you know what I mean? Like, Kira, you're a
Yeah, that's
foodie.
me.
So,
"Bring a veggie
like,
tray,"
if
she
we
says.
yeah,
I would
but
never.
I know what Kira would actually do is, like, make something that's really good and, like,
Yes.
make a veggie tray, but make it elevated and
That's true,
exciting
like,
and delicious.
beautiful honey glazed carrots or, like, sea
Yeah,
salted roasted asparagus, like, that's something I would do.
or, like,
And
a
I think
good dessert.
Yeah.
yeah. And again, it's just being honest with yourself with where you're at because
Yep.
if you are, yeah, we all love food. And if you are on a healing journey or you're trying to stay set an intention of not going overboard, it's like, yeah, I mean, of course we want to just be able to just eat whatever we want, but a lot of us can't. And so
Yeah.
I was that
Mhm.
girl that brought the veggie tray because a lot of the times you're just picky and you're just snacky and you just wanna go and, like, be part of it, but you don't wanna eat the junk, and so I was the one because I'm like, "I don't really care what I'm eating most of the time." It's like, "Yeah, I wanna try this, I wanna try this," but it's just, like,
I
the
just wanna
motion.
crunch on
The
something.
Just
mindful,
lifting
yeah.
the elbow to the mouth, like, it's just that,
And
but
And
yeah.
thinking even before the dinner, because that's what happens when our blood sugar is really low. If we're around all this food, maybe we're a little bit anxious because we aren't around our family or the dynamics are a little bit weird. We tend to like gravitate to the chips that are on the table or whatever is around that you can snack on, whether it's because it's like a nervous kind of like tick that you have, or
That's me
it's
for sure.
also when you combine that exactly when you combine that when you have the low blood sugar, like I just remember, and everyone does this at one point, like, you go into your Christmas dinner being like, "I'm gonna eat like crazy, and I'm not gonna eat all day so I can eat like crazy." And you're just setting yourself up for failure, like, eat your normal breakfast, eat a very protein, healthy fat, fiber forward lunch, obviously some carbs in there too is fine, and then maybe you have a little protein shake before dinner or before you get to wherever you're going, and I promise you, the decisions that you make that night are going to be night and day compared to if you were to starve yourself all day and go into that dinner, you're going to consume more calories by doing it that way. So just set yourself up to be able to focus on connection rather than focus on food the whole entire time.
Mhm. And it just even goes back to what Jensen's kind of intention was of, like, eating her good breakfast and her good lunch. Something I've worked on in previous years was making sure regardless of how many treats I ate the night before, that I would eat my breakfast that morning because it's very easy time to slip into that binge and restrict cycle of you overeat at night. Oh, I'm going to skip breakfast because you aren't hungry. I feel hungover. My blood sugar's a mess. I almost feel nauseous.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to do is eat my 600-calorie breakfast. But in the previous years, that's what I really focused on doing. And so now I'm like, okay, Lacey, now let's set you up for success and let's stop eating the treats. So it's like different levels to each thing, but it is a very easy time to just get into that thing. And so it's like, okay, if you're not quite ready to cut out the treats after 8 o'clock, like make that promise to yourself that you're going to eat a big breakfast the next morning, because if you don't, you'll undereat all day and then you're going to be right back at the
You're in
treat
the
cupboard at
cycle.
night. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think too, like something else, it can be like even overwhelming just hearing us talk about like how many years we've been like, oh, last year I was intentional about this, and the year like that's like, oh my God, I can feel myself even getting overwhelmed, and I've been the one doing it. So even if this year all you do is like, I'm gonna pay more attention to what I'm doing. This is the first time I like maybe you're doing a pretty good job and you already get 3 meals in and that comes easy to you, but you do have way too many treats or your meals aren't balanced. And maybe you're literally doing like recon this year where it's like, huh, when I'm at my family's holiday meal, I stress eat way more than my spouse's family. Like, why is that? And then you know where you need to have more intention and have more boundaries. Or if you do, like, it's not necessarily easy, but just like a simple place to start if you're feeling overwhelmed. It's probably because you've never really tried it intentionally before. So to just like step back and, like, look at what you're up to is always,
Yeah.
Well,
good.
yeah.
Awareness.
Yeah.
And that even reminds me, like, not to be like, well, 5 years ago, my intention was, but I've been on this journey for a while, you guys, okay? And I take it step by step. But what I noticed was when I first started journaling, I would be in my and I was at home and I was in my routine and it was really good, and then when I would go on holidays, not only are now you out of routine, you have all these temptations, but I also wasn't journaling, which was really what helped me to stop the binging. And so I kind of put two and two together for a lot of years, my only goal at Christmas was to journal in the morning, because I just noticed when you are aware and you okay, I'm journaling about how I ate way too many treats last night, and you just become more aware of your patterns and what you're doing, and then it like helped me prevent that too. So it's like maybe that is all you're doing is just like, let me kind of see and audit my holidays,
Yeah.
because I've never even paid attention. I don't
Yeah.
even know where to start. I don't know what to do. It's like, okay, well, let's just bring some awareness to it, I
Yeah.
guess, because that was a huge thing for me that really helped. But
Yeah. So if
again,
you're
it's
just
like,
getting started, that awareness is
And honestly,
numero uno.
I feel like that's what I'm gonna do this year, is just have a little bit more of an audit year. So I'm
yeah.
kind of
Well, especially
excited
with
by that
having a
idea.
newborn
Mhm.
too, like things are different. Like you might not be able to do what you did last year. And that's actually a good lesson. Like things
Yeah.
are going to change in your life. You're going to have new in laws, or you're going to have another baby, or you're going to have like, you're going to be traveling for Christmas. There's going to be different things that you're going to be able to manage each
Mhm.
year.
That's
Yeah.
a good, like,
Cool.
resource for us to come up with is, like, a little audit, life audit,
Hmm.
Christmas
Christmas
holiday
audit.
audit. But and then another little tip that I remember I shared on the open office hours too was, even if intentions and all of this is freaking you out, another thing that used to really help me, because again, I'm the treat queen, but would try to avoid it, is even with drinking or anything, just again, setting yourself up for success and setting a goal, which I still do when I go to parties or there's lots of treats that I wouldn't normally have access to. I set myself a goal because I don't want to say I'm not going to have any. So it's like, okay, I'm going to let myself have two drinks and I'm going to make sure I drink a glass of water in between. So that's like my goal. So if I do that, then I'm happy and I'm proud of myself. Or, oh, I'm going to let myself have 3 cookies and then that's it. And so it's like
Yeah.
then you create that positive feedback loop of, oh, you had 3 cookies, which is still kind of a lot, but that was your goal. That was your intention. So you're proud of yourself for not overdoing it. Right. But if you set the intention of, I'm not going to have 0 cookies, and then you have 3, now you're mad at yourself, self-sabotage becomes a thing, you go into that all or nothing mindset of, "Well, I might as well have 5 because tomorrow I'm definitely not gonna have any cookies," and so it's like, even with things like that, if you normally eat 12 cookies, set the goal to be 6. Like, it doesn't have to be restrictive, and it can still, like, at a glance seem
Yeah.
like, "This is too much." But it's crazy how much when you create those goals and become proud of yourself, how much momentum that can bring, especially if you are someone who struggles with that all or nothing mindset, because there's just so many treats and temptations, and even, like, one of our clients on our open office hour, she's a teacher, and she's, like, every day in the month of
Yeah.
December, and I think, like, teachers, nurses, like,
Nurses,
people like that,
hairdressers.
where it's
Yeah.
like, I'm in this little perfect bubble that I don't even have to worry about treats until we get to Zach's parents, but it's like when you're in that and there's treats every single day, you do kind of have to create something around it. But I was like, just let yourself have one every day instead of telling
Mhm.
yourself you're not going to have one and then have one. That's way worse because she's like, yeah, because then she gets into that all or nothing mindset where then she eats 5 because she says she's not going to eat tomorrow. I'm like, no, just have one every single day. Even if you don't want it, have it because that'll teach you that it's not
I
going
remember
anywhere.
Yeah.
that you saying that, like, a long time ago, like, you've been saying that one for a while, I feel like, and it, like, something, like, shifted so much in me with that piece because it's like you fucking strut your ass over to the cookie table and you're like, "What am I gonna have?" And instead of being like, like this awkward, like,
No
weird
one can watch
person,
me.
like, "I gotta wait till everyone's gone, I'm gonna, like, hide and eat this cookie," it's like, I'm like, "What do we got, guys? Like, what's the best thing here? Because 'Cause I'm about to eat it." And it just, like, feels so much better to come at it with that mindset than, like, just this, like, "I'm a piece of shit, and here I go again." Like,
Yeah.
and also, like, maybe people will notice. I think people notice that energy, and they're like, "Whoa, like, what's your secret?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't you on a diet? Isn't there gluten
Yeah,
in
or you
that?
get that.
Yeah, I guess maybe, but
No, but it's
And then you say, "Fuck off."
yeah,
yeah,
and then you get in a three-day fight with your uncle or whatever.
yeah. And it's just so funny, like, even when I, like, say, "Okay, I'm gonna have 3 cookies," and it's like when I have that 3rd one and then I don't have any more, I'm just, like, so proud of myself, like, "Yeah, I only had
Yeah.
800 calories worth of cookies today," like, but it's just crazy, and I've shared that for so many years because that's still something that I actually actively do, and it helps,
Think
but
about.
Yeah.
not everyone has the food noise, so
Yeah, and also, like, even hearing those goals, if you're like, "Oh my god, like, 2 drinks, like, usually I black out every New Year's," like, maybe your goal is to just not black out
black
on New
out.
Year's this year.
Yeah,
Like,
for
that could
sure.
seriously be your goal.
That's what I mean, and you get better every year, right? Like, we're 15 years into this, and now
Yeah.
I only have a goal of 2 cookies instead of 10, but it's like you gotta
Yeah.
set yourself up for success, like, if you get anything out of this podcast, it's not about being perfect or avoiding drinking or avoiding the treats or avoiding overeating, it's just have an intention and keep that promise to yourself, but you have to make it easy or you're gonna
Yeah,
self-sabotage.
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly.
Give me
Um,
chills.
Ooh.
Get anything out of this podcast, everybody, that's what you can get.
that's it.
You heard
But
it here first.
what was another tip?
One of my first tips, I was thinking about this, that I ever, like, implemented was starting with a plate full of protein and the veggies. So and maybe, like, once again, you put some mashed potatoes or the stuffing, but majority, 80% of your plate is the protein and the veggies and the quote unquote, like, healthier things. And then you don't say, "I can't have anything after this," but the decisions that you make when you are satisfied and once again, that blood sugar is stable,
Stable blood
it is
sugar.
crazy because then you go back and you have 1 piece of pie and then you're good, right? Like, you're full, you're satisfied, or you go back and you go for seconds of stuffing and you're like, "I'm full, like, that was delicious, but I'm done." So, that is a really helpful tip for me is because 'cause I'm not putting restrictions. Once again, I'm just thinking about abundance. How can I add as much good stuff to this plate, and then I can go back and have more if I want.
Yeah. Love,
Love.
love, love.
So far we have preparing prior, intention, the day after, how to structure your meals, bringing a dish. What else would you guys say is really helpful?
Oh, I think something that we had in those in our notes when we were talking about it is, like, just remembering too that, like, the whole point of the holidays is, like, gratitude and, like, connecting with the people that you love or yourself, whatever that may be, and I think knowing that, like, those are truly healing as well, and, like, they are going to impact your nervous system, which we know plays such an important role in your overall health and just your ability and your capacity to do anything else is so reliant upon your like nervous system being calm. So maybe that's like what you focus on these holidays and you're like, I can't deal with like the food foundations and like the walks. Like I can't do all of that, but I can handle like that piece of like keeping my nervous system calm and leaning on the holidays as like joy because it is healing and it is important on your like wellness journey as well to be happy. So just like remember that that's like the point of it all and that's why we do everything we do. It's to feel good. It's not like we're only having 3 cookies because it's the rules of life and wellness. It's like no, it's cuz we feel good when we do that. And that's what we deserve and that's what we're here for and I think just remembering that just having fun in a game night with your family or a movie night with your family or a cupcake with your kid, you can have it be healing if you want to. Not that it's like healthy, like a cupcake isn't healthy, whatever, but it can be healing if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, and I think that's pretty much like everything that we just said. It's not so much the food or the drinking or your perfect circadian rhythm. It's like your relationship with all of that. Because yes,
Mhm.
the cookie isn't super healthy and drinking isn't super healthy, but what is worse is doing that and being mad at yourself and having that
Mhm.
shame. And that's really what in the end sets off your nervous system. So then you're in fight or flight and not only are you eating the cookie, but you're beating yourself up, you're mad at yourself, you feel ashamed. And so it's like it's really not about what you do, it's about your relationship with what you do. So that's why you need to set yourself up so it's positive regardless of if it is or not technically by like the
Yeah.
rules of health. It's just like
Mhm.
do you how do you perceive yourself in the decisions that you've made? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Boom. And I think it just can change your relationship with the holidays. Like I used to hate Christmas. Like I was literally Grinch. Like I did not like Christmas. And I think a lot of that was obviously family dynamics, but also just I got this gut-wrenching feeling every single year before the holidays. Like I'm gonna freaking gain 20 pounds. Like I'm gonna binge every single night. Like here we go. And it was truly like a sickening feeling I would get before the holidays, and I associated the holidays with that feeling of just being off track, feeling like shit, like all of this different stuff and having it in the back of my head. Well, on January 1st, everything will change. But if you just bring in these habits, whatever that looks like for you, and also the change in your mindset with it, it's crazy like how much different your relationship and how much with the holidays and how much you enjoy the holidays and how much more present you can be with your friends and family during that time. Well, it'll just
Mhm.
change so much.
Yeah, and like you'll probably be nicer to your family if your blood sugar is stable.
Yes.
So just have
Yes.
some protein no matter what.
Just have some freaking protein, okay,
Please.
you guys?
From the
No.
evil daughter herself, me.
Oh,
Everyone's gonna
I thought
like
you were
you
talking
more.
about me.
No, me.
I'm the perfect
2 evil
daughter.
daughters.
No, and I
Not
think
me.
too, like, if you are on a very different journey or path than your family and your friends or whoever you're around, it's also a really cool opportunity to, like, set an example and try to teach them, and like Kira said, just be vulnerable, like, "This is what gluten does to me, and this is why I don't do this," or, "This is why I'm choosing," and kind of be that, like, inspiration for people even if you are making them slightly uncomfortable. I think it's really cool that you can set that example and like stay true to your boundaries. And so I think going into it with that mindset too, it's like it's maybe they're not going to jump on the bandwagon right away, but eventually over time, one by one, all you know it,
Well,
they're on a podcast with you.
honestly though, like I the stuff that we're saying to do, like I don't know if like maybe if you're gluten free, like do people really have that much of a visceral reaction? Like I associate that when I was like a bodybuilder and my family would be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like literally, what are
People
you
are
doing?"
so weird about gluten.
People are so weird about gluten. It's actually they're like, "You're not celiac." I'm like, "Never said I was. It's okay."
Oh, I don't know. And again, it's like obviously I never really was like an in-betweener. Like it's like I went from my bodybuilding to like pretty intense functional
Yeah.
health. And so it's like just speaking from personal the comments that I get, it is always like you wouldn't eat that. You're not gonna eat that. Oh, Lacey can't eat this. Oh, sorry, you can't have that. Like,
Oh
you're gonna
god.
eat that? Isn't that not on your diet?" Like, it was just but I was never really in this more of like a lifestyle, even what our clients are experiencing, where it's not like no one's gonna really notice if you just eat a balanced meal and like don't say anything, But I think it's just because for us, like it's been such a long that like that's just who I am at this point. It's like, oh, Lacey has her Tupperware or her glassware. um, so I think I probably even have like a little bit more of a warped perception of it, but it's even I don't know, I just think everyone is so different that you really don't know what people are thinking. But like you said,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jensen, it's like sometimes you create more of a story in your head than whatever anyone thinks, and then I'm like, "Oh, no, there was no story being created in my head. That was all laid out
That
on a
was
perfectly
real.
book."
Yeah.
But
Like,
it's also our
read.
whole personality on
Yeah,
Instagram
and that's
too.
what I
So I'm
mean.
like,
So it's like, it's hard for me to even know what it's
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes now people are like, "Are you? Because you don't do gluten, right?" And I'm like, "Oh my
yeah.
god, why how do you know that?" Like, "Oh my gosh."
I'm like, oh yeah.
But then some people are like, "Are you still doing your gluten thing?" And I'm like, "No."
No, I'm depressed, actually.
No, I'm really
My
yeah.
joints hurt.
I'm super sore and depressed right now, but
But at the end of the day, as long as you lay your head down on that pillow and you're proud of yourself, that's all that really matters. So, set
And even
yourself
if
up
you're
for
not,
success.
we're practicing here.
That's right. It's a practice. It's opportunity, like we say.
Exactly. Okay,
But
well, anything
yeah.
else, like other tips we want to add in, or is that we're going to do a goal setting podcast? I think it will come out 2 weeks after this one is released.
yeah.
So stay tuned for that one if you're looking for some of that stuff. We love a good m- balanced goal setting session, but so we're going to go over that. But I feel like that's kind of it
That's it,
Yeah.
in
team.
terms of tips.
I feel
But if you guys have
excited
any
and
questions, same.
motivated, and I feel like, yeah, I like
Yeah,
this.
it's gonna be
I
a good
I needed
Christmas
this.
year.
Yeah, it's going to be a good Christmas. It's going to be an amazing 2026. Lacey is famous. Hopefully, she doesn't leave us all behind, and we'll
No
see what
way.
just
No
kidding.
way. But yeah, because last week we recorded, I was at 90 or I had
Really?
hit 100K, right? No,
Have you hit
I
You
hit
200
just hit
yet?
100.
so 2 weeks ago was
2
when I
weeks.
hit 90K in the morning on our WEC. And I was like, holy shit. And then I think I hit 100K like the next day on
Yeah,
Thursday.
you did.
So
Yeah.
last week I was probably at like 120 or 130. And now I'm at 200 on
Shut the
both
fuck up.
Instagram and Facebook. And so it's just been an absolute ride, but it is super exciting. And I'm just so excited, but I keep just thinking about that the day before I got on my story and I was like, I'm going to stop playing small. I'm going to talk about our program. I never
Mhm.
talk about it enough because there is a part of me, it always feels weird. You're like trying to sell this program that you believe in, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you're still selling it. And so I just like announced that and pretty much put that out there that I was going to start doing that. And literally the next day, it was like, let's see, Lacey.
Let's
Holy
see
fuck,
if you're
holy
gonna
fuck,
do
holy
it.
fuck.
But
That's
it's
so
been crazy
cool.
because in the last 2 weeks, all I've really been able to do is talk about my program because we have so many messages. Like we're at like 3,800 last night of unread messages. And so there's so many people in there that are showing like keywords for the program and that like we have a thing if you want more information comment this, if you're ready to join comment this, if you're interested in our Black Friday comment this. We have so like hundreds and hundreds of those messages
Yeah.
that we can't get to everyone, so it's just forced like all I can talk about is like, hey, if you want the program. And even now I'm getting in my head like, well, I don't want to always be selling and I want to be, and it's just like it's been such a roller coaster, but it's going to be a big year for us team,
Oh
so
my
I'm
god.
Yeah, it
excited.
is. And the people that have been here from the beginning, we love you so, so much.
Seriously though, that's
Yes.
actually I was wanted to talk about this. I had lunch on last week or was it a day ago? I don't fucking remember to be honest. With
I hope
like
every day you had lunch.
yeah. No, like with some people.
Oh,
So there's a girl, she's a nutritionist. She's lives like in a city like an hour away and she's like, "I'm coming into Lloyd. I'd love to come and have coffee with you." And she's like, "And my cousin Letitia is going to come." And I was like Letitia, who is one of my maybe shouldn't have said her name, but whatever. Too late, sorry. And like she was one of my first ever clients, like fully trusted the program, dove in like freaking all the way, just like went for it, completely changed her life. Like she did all the things, and then ended up like getting pregnant and exiting the program. And so she's cousins with this nutritionist that lives in this other city close by. And like we both got tears in our eyes and she was like, "I can't even tell you how much it means to me to like meet you in person." I was like, "What?" Like, what is going on? And just like the people like that have been doing this program and in this program from the beginning, like it really has like changed their lives. And I love that Lacey said that, like, not playing small anymore. And like, this isn't a scam or like a one off trend or fad or anything like that. Like, this is the lifestyle that we all want to live and that we've found where it's possible. Like, it's not that hard or terrible. It's
Crazy.
like
Yeah.
great. And it's, if you allow it to, it's just like changing lives in such a big way. And like, even all of our lives have changed so much from it. And it's just like so cool. It was just such a
No.
cute moment. She's like, "I can't believe I'm meeting you in person." I'm like, "Am I famous?" I'm like, "No, I'm not." Not quite.
No, there's just
You're Lloyd
honestly been
famous
Yeah.
for sure.
so much reassurance in the last
Yeah.
2 weeks, and I don't even want to talk more about this because I want it to be at the start of
Yeah.
an episode where people will actually listen to it. But there's just been so much reassurance, so many things that have happened in the last 2 weeks that I just like know we're on the right path and we have like we're gonna take over. But it's been really cool and exciting. So we're just getting started. I know we've been saying that for 7 years, but
Literally,
it
like
still
every
feels
year,
true.
it's like, this is our year. This is our year.
This is our big
I'm
break.
like, I think this is actually our year. I really
think
do.
it's actually here.
I think it's happening.
But anyways, enough about us, you guys. Have the best holiday season ever and enjoy it. That's what matters at the end of it. And
If you got anything out of this, let us know. Please share this with someone that you think would benefit from it. And we love you so much. Make sure you like on YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell, follow us, download the podcast, please. Please.
please.
And
We are
have
at
a
48
great-
subscribers on YouTube, though. So
Woo! We love
we
you
are
guys.
blowing up.
We love you guys.
I love it.
Happy holidays.
Okay, bye, team.
Bye.
Bye,
Love ya.
guys.
Thanks for tuning in to The Wellness Effect. We're so grateful to be part of your wellness journey. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on Instagram. We'll put all of our handles in the show notes. If you have questions or ideas, slide into our DMs or send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep creating your own wellness effect.